Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a really fun video, and that is going to be my student teacher experience and 10 things I wish I would have known before I started student teaching. So in this video I'm going to be sharing 10 tips with you guys that I have really thought a lot about, and now that I am done student teaching, I student taught for a year, I think are really important to think about before you start student teaching, or are things that you can honestly start applying even if you're already in your student teaching. I had a really great experience and I'm excited to share with you guys about where I was at, what grade I was in, and just things like that. So before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys don't know, I am going to be a kindergarten teacher next year. It is my very first year teaching, and so I'm going to be sharing a lot of classroom hauls, a lot of setting up my classroom vlogs, and just all of that fun stuff. So make sure you stick around and hit that subscribe button, and let's get into this video. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to give you a little overview of my experience with student teaching. So I taught in a Title I blue ribbon school in a really small rural community. The community there was amazing because it was a small town. There was just such a sense of community, and everyone knew everyone. There's one grocery store, there's one mail, post mail, just stuff like that. And it was a super small town. It was about a 35-minute commute from where I was living for college. So honestly, when I got my placement, I was a little bit hesitant because I was like, I do not want to drive all the way out there every single day. Like, that's so much gas and that's so much time. But honestly, I would not have had it any other way. I absolutely love the school that I was student teaching at. I love the district. I just think it's an amazing school district, and it's an amazing school filled with amazing people and teachers. And so I was really lucky with the placement that I got. I was in a first grade classroom. My heart really fell in love with first grade. I just love the age that they're at. They're just so curious and they're so loving and kind, and I just absolutely love them. So honestly, my heart was kind of set on first grade when I was looking for a job, but kindergarten is a very close second, so I was very happy with that. Okay, so that's enough about me. So I'm going to get into the 10 different tips that I have for you guys about student teaching. Okay, so my very first most important tip is to always be professional. So one aspect of this is obviously clothes. I was always very careful with what I wore to student teaching. You always want to make sure if you bend over, nothing's going to show, that your pants are going to stay up, you're wearing a belt, but then also kind of taking in the culture of your school. Like, some schools, they still dress in really professional clothing, whereas some schools are more relaxed and like can wear jeans and t-shirts and stuff like that. I wore jeans on Fridays because that was kind of the expectation of the school, but then besides that I didn't really wear jeans. I would wear leggings sometimes towards the end of the year, honestly, because I was so tired, but never before that. And I would always make sure that I had a shirt or a tunic that was like long enough to cover my bottom and all of that good stuff. And so I would just say that's a really big part of being professional. Also, just know that, you know, the education community is such a small community. You have to be very careful with what you say, and especially about other people, teachers, professionals, even teachers at your school, just all of that. Just know that the education world is really small, and you want to have as many positive relationships as possible. And so being very careful in your interactions with the people, and just be really mindful of that, and especially in like writing and emails and phone calls and just all of that. Make sure that you're always professional and always your best self. My second tip, I almost put this as number one because it honestly just changed my whole student teaching experience, and is what I really wish I would have known before, and that is get to know everyone at the school. Get to know other teachers, not just your CT. Get to know the other teachers that are in your grade level. Get to know teachers that are in different grade levels. Get to know the support staff, the office staff, the lunch ladies. Like, get to know everyone. And that's what they'll remember you by. They'll remember that you went out of your way to say hi to them and to smile to them and say good morning. You know, it's really simple ways to like make connections. And I just really wish that I would have done this more during my first 2 quarters of student teaching. It was a little bit harder because I was only there 2 days a week, but my 3rd quarter, I got to love every single person that taught at that school, and I just miss them so much already. And I just really hope that you guys take this advice. Say hi to everyone, make sure you're always smiling, make sure you get to know everyone in the school, even people that are not your CT. My third tip for you is ask for help when you need it. Whether that's your CT, another teacher at the school that you feel comfortable with, another intern that's at your school, the principal. I have learned in the past year that it is better to express that you are struggling and ask for help than suffering silently. If you are very vocal about, yeah, this part of my lesson did not go very well, like what do you think I could do better? It just sets a lot better tone for like your observation, and it just shows that you're really reflecting on your practices and you can recognize that, yeah, that didn't go well. And you know that, because the biggest problem is when things go wrong and you don't know, like you don't recognize that something went wrong. I found out that sometimes just sharing and talking out loud with someone about, something that went wrong or something you're thinking about, something you're frustrated with, it kind of helps you process it too by processing it with another person. And especially if you're going to someone that has, 20 plus years of experience teaching, they have had a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same bumps in their roads that you have, and it's really valuable to get their knowledge and their advice on those different difficulties you might face. And so I just really advocate for asking for help and asking for advice. Use the resources that you have. You're in the placement of a student teacher and they expect that you're going to ask for help and that you don't know everything, and that's totally fine, and asking for help is totally fine too. And so do not be afraid to ask for help. Don't let your pride get in your way, and just really value the knowledge that you have at your fingertips to access. So my fourth tip is something that I am setting as a goal for me as a first year teacher, because I was not able to really do this last year, and that is to attend your students' extracurricular activities. So this can range from, a school dance to a fun run to your student's soccer game. There's a huge array of things that your kids and your school put on and attend, and that you can attend too. I just know that it looks really good if you are at your student soccer game. They're gonna love that you're there. They're gonna love that you're there supporting them. Their parents are gonna love that you're supporting them. It just, you help build connections if you attend that school dance where all the staff is there and the district staff, and it's just a really good way to continue building connections and relationships, and that is like the biggest part of teaching. My fifth tip is take ownership of your teaching and be confident. So my first, honestly, 2.5 quarters, I was not very confident in my teaching. I was really nervous. I was really scared. I was scared of people watching me. I was scared that I wasn't doing it right. I was scared that I wasn't doing it the same as someone else might have done it. Comparison is the thief of joy and of confidence too. And so I would just really recommend that you recognize that you are a great teacher. You might do something a little bit different than everyone else in the building. Everyone has their own teaching style, and that's totally okay. And if something goes well, own it. Like, say, yeah, that lesson was great. They were so engaged. They loved it. They learned the learning target. Take ownership of it and show that you're proud of what you've done and what your students have done. And I just really wish that I was a little bit more confident in who I was as a teacher and my teaching abilities earlier on in the year. But everyone has their own path to grow, and so I would just say make sure you're confident in your teaching and take ownership of when things go well. Okay, my sixth tip for you is take the time to actually lesson plan. During my full-time student teaching, when I was taking over the classroom full-time, would wake up at 5:30 a.m., get ready, and then have from 6 to 7 just to lesson plan and to prep. And it honestly made the biggest difference in my teaching. I was able to make, my lessons so much more engaging and interactive by having that time to look at the lesson and be like, yeah, that's kind of boring. I'm going to change it a little bit, or I'm going to add in this technology, or I'm going to add in this art, or I'm going to do, XYZ just to make it more engaging and more fun. And also then I have all day to know what is coming in each of the lessons, and I'm very aware of what's happening. And so I just think that if you take the time to read ahead, know what the learning goal is, know what the goal of the unit is, and then being able to differentiate, to pull kids for small group, to make our lessons more engaging and interactive, it honestly makes such a big difference in your day and in your teaching and in your students' learning. My 7th tip is to know that there will be hard times during your student-teacher internship, but just know that it will be okay. I know this is very long and very broad, but during your student teaching, you'll have the Ed TPA, you'll have content tests, you'll maybe have classes I did, you'll have lessons that don't go well, you'll have kids that are testing, your authority in the classroom. You'll have all these things that are hard, and it's totally hard. I 100% acknowledge that there are hard things during your student-teacher internship. You're not the teacher, but you are the teacher, and your kids are confused and they don't know, how much they have to listen to you. And it's hard. It's really hard. I, cried in my CT's arms at least twice in the last 6 weeks, and not even afraid to admit that because it was hard and there was a lot going on, and it's a lot of pressure trying to find a job and trying to make sure you graduate and making sure you're doing everything that you need to do as best as you can. And know that it's going to be hard sometimes. You'll probably have nights where you cry or where you feel like this is too much, do I even want to do this? And just know, once you're out of it, once you're done with school and you have a job, it's so worth it. When you see your kids saying goodbye to you on the last day, it's so worth it. They love you, even if they can be a little sassy sometimes. Like, it's so worth it. And just remember why you're teaching, remember why you're in this program, remember why all of the things that are going on is going to be worth it in the end. Just remember that and hang on to that. My 8th tip is also something that I wish I would have spent a little bit more time doing, and that is get out of your classroom and observe other classrooms and grade levels in your building. You don't know where you're gonna get a job. You don't know what grade you're gonna get your job at. You can end up in somewhere between K and 5 or 8, I don't know, whatever grade you're teaching in. And so it's really awesome to have the ability to go observe other classrooms and see different teaching styles, see how, the classrooms are set up, what books are in each grade level's library. Ask the teachers, like, what are some things that are really essential for 2nd grade? What are some things that you really wish you would have known before you taught 4th grade? You have this giant resource at your fingertips. Make sure you're going and observing different classrooms, because your heart might get set in a different grade than you're actually in just by doing this. And so I would definitely recommend going into different classrooms in different grade levels in your building and just observe and see what it's like. My 9th tip for student teaching is to visit possible job schools before you accept a job. How do I say that more shortly? Visit schools before you accept a job. So during your student teacher internship, you're probably going to be applying for jobs, and it's really stressful because you'll see your classmates and different people in your program begin to get jobs, and it can be pretty hard to just know that, like, your time is coming, and every school district is on their own timeline of when they hire and when they post their jobs, and that's totally okay. A lot of teachers don't get jobs until June, July, August, and that's okay. And my really big advice for you is to, whatever school you are possibly getting a job at, make sure you go and observe first. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit more about this in my vlog that's going up this week, but I did not visit my school before I accepted a job there, and it was honestly a little bit shocking, and I was really taken aback, and I wish I would have just known what to expect before I signed a contract. And so I would just really advise that you visit a school that you might get a job at before you actually accept. My 10th tip is the most important tip, and just have fun, love on your kiddos. They are, your first group of kids that you taught, and they love you and you love them. And even through the hard days and the times they don't sit on the carpet and listen, the times that they roll their eyes at you and break your little heart, they love you. And just remember that and have fun with them, play games with them, go to recess with them, have lunch with them. All those really small things they're going to remember. They're going to remember you, and just have fun and enjoy your time student teaching. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about my experience and hearing the tips that I have for you as student teachers. I'm really excited to begin my next step in my teaching journey with my very first teaching job. Leave me a comment down below if you have any video suggestions. I just made like an entire list of video ideas. But if you have any teacher related video ideas, please leave them down below because I'm really open to anything that you guys are wanting to see. I have a lot more time on my hands now that it is summertime to film videos and just stay in touch with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my teacher videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!